My name is Jud Ashman, and I have the honor to serve you as mayor of the greatest city in the world, Gaithersburg, Maryland. Obviously, the current public health crisis has prevented us from joining together in person for this solemn occasion, but it is important for us to continue to honor those who've given their lives for this country. Their sacrifices and those of their families allow us to live in a democratic society where our freedom fosters the harmony in which we live, no matter our origin, our cultural background, our religion, or our economic means. Taking time to reflect on the contributions and sacrifices of others is important, especially during this time of crisis. It is important to remember the service of family members and friends, colleagues and coworkers, and to honor those we may not know personally, but who nonetheless made the ultimate sacrifice so that we may live in peace. We hope at some point today you'll take a moment to reflect on the sacrifices of others. This ceremony is traditionally held at Chrisman Park, an idyllic setting named for Gaithersburg's son, Marine Second Lieutenant William Chrisman III, who was posthumously awarded the Navy Cross for his valor in Vietnam. Our virtual observance includes a Pledge of Allegiance, patriotic songs, remarks by a special guest speaker, and the playing of taps to allow us a moment of reflection. We look forward to gathering again when it is safe to do so. Meanwhile, please be well, please take care of each other, and please stay strong.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light which so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Happy Memorial Day. I'm Jud Stailey, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to be a part of Gaithersburg's Memorial Day celebration. I wish we could be together, but doing it this way is best for our community. I learned about Memorial Day by participating in parades when I was in high school. I went to a small school in Central Ohio and played in the marching band from 8th through 12th grades. On Memorial Day, we would march in parades in our town and two other towns nearby that were not big enough to have high schools and marching bands. We'd march down the main street and into the cemetery, where there would be a ceremony remembering those who had sacrificed their lives in the defense of our country. It was the same ceremony in each town and the same year after year. Experiencing that 3 times a year for 5 years made a lasting impression of Memorial Day and why we celebrate it. But about 35 years later, I got a new perspective. I was privileged to be assigned to NATO headquarters in Brussels, Belgium. I was in an organization with members from all the Allied nations. Holidays weren't quite the same there. We shared a few holidays with our colleagues, but most of the national holidays were different. Memorial Day was one of those holidays, like the 4th of July, that only the U.S. contingent celebrated, or so I thought. We discovered that there were Memorial Day celebrations at the U.S. cemeteries in Belgium and decided to check out those events. These are cemeteries where Americans who were killed in the world wars in Europe were buried. They traveled to another continent across the ocean, and when they died, their bodies remained there. There are 3 American cemeteries in Belgium, 1 from World War I and 2 from the Second World War. The first year we went to Flanders Field Cemetery in western Belgium. That's the World War I cemetery, and it's rather small. Only 368 soldiers are interred there, but they were men who died on a different continent across the ocean, fighting alongside our allies to protect our freedoms. We went as a family, but I wore my uniform, as I often do when I want to show respect for the fallen. When we arrived, a Belgian official saw my uniform and immediately invited us to sit in the VIP section. I explained that I was just there as an observer, not an official representative. That apparently didn't make any difference. We didn't want to cause a stir, so we sat with the special guests. It was a beautiful ceremony. A student from the American school in Brussels, where my daughters went, recited the poem In Flanders Fields by Canadian doctor John McCrae. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row. In its beautiful 15 lines, the poet asks those who are still living to take up the fight against the evil enemy. After the reading, Belgian children from a nearby elementary school sang the Star-Spangled Banner in English from memory. Then just about every civic organization in the area, from city councils to soccer teams, laid a wreath to acknowledge the sacrifice of the men buried there. On a later Memorial Day, we attended the ceremonies at Oceanic Cemetery in eastern Belgium. It's a World War II cemetery with almost 8,000 graves of American servicemen who had died on a different continent across the ocean, fighting alongside our allies to protect our freedoms. We had a similar experience there. We were ushered into the VIP seats, and in spite of our protests, we witnessed another beautiful ceremony, including the laying of scores of wreaths by local organizations. We had dinner afterwards in a cafe in the little town of Oceanic, and the local people made it a point to thank us for being there. Those experiences gave me a new perspective and a new appreciation of Memorial Day. I understood what it means to us in this country. It honors U.S. citizens, men and women, who have died while serving in the military. We're showing our appreciation. But that appreciation runs much deeper and wider than we think. The ceremonies in Belgium were organized and sponsored by the locals, not Americans. We watched Belgians celebrate the holiday of a country on another continent across the ocean, our holiday, because Americans came to their aid and fought alongside them to protect their freedoms. Watching people from another country honor our national heroes helped me to better understand and appreciate the sacrifice of those Americans. Take some time today to think about how blessed we are that men and women in uniform have given and continue to give their lives to protect our freedoms. Thanks for taking your time to be a part of this celebration, and have a great Memorial Day.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand
beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam.